Not every war begins with weapons. Some start with a caption, a face-swapped photo, a single Instagram post dripping with audacity. And suddenly, 3 names are trending. A boxing champion is filing legal paperwork, a rapper is delivering his final verdict on camera, and a man nobody fully knew before this saga is releasing alleged phone logs at 2 in the morning. This is not a simple beef story. This is a full collision. 3 personalities, multiple timelines, contradicting receipts, and one offer that made the entire internet stop mid-scroll. Let's walk through every layer, slowly, because every single one matters. Before screenshots, before cease and desist letters, before Maserati Bud ever opened his mouth, this story has roots that stretch back further than most people realize. The tension between 50 Cent and Papoose didn't materialize overnight. Its origins trace back to comments 50 made toward Remy Ma during her marriage to Papoose, flirtatious, disrespectful jabs that Papoose never forgot and never forgave. Things reignited at the top of this year when 50 posted an AI-generated video mocking Papoose for allegedly scuffling with a content creator who had called Claressa Shields Serena Williams. The caption, "You can't just go around putting your hands on people." Petty, calculated. Classic 50 Cent operating procedure.
AI-generated deepfake video spreading rumors that Claressa Shields had an inappropriate relationship with Papoose.
Papoose responded the way a true lyricist responds, through music. He dropped Agent Provocateur, a 5-minute surgical dissection of everything 50 Cent represented, complete with a full music video. Then he followed it with a Many Men freestyle that hit just as hard. The moment Agent Provocateur landed on streaming platforms, something shifted. Papoose publicly noted that panic set in on the other side almost immediately.
Hey yo, 50, you a bitch, man. You can't bully no Brooklyn nigga.
You are now listening to
And the receipts backed that observation up, because instead of entering a studio and crafting a musical rebuttal, instead of doing what artists do, 50 Cent grabbed his phone and went straight for the relationship. He posted an AI-generated scene showing himself at a whiteboard with writing that mocked Papoose's chart history over 25 years. Quen sat. The caption included a jab at Claressa Shields directly, telling Papoose to go hang out with his boyfriend, using her athletic build as a punchline. That was the opening shot across Claressa's bow. It would not be the last. What came next escalated this from a rap beef into something far messier, far more personal, and far more consequential. 50 Cent posted an AI face-swapped image of Claressa Shields and Papoose.
Did it because I love you, but you felt the same way about me.
Their faces digitally placed on each other's bodies, and buried inside the caption was a grenade. He accused Shields of secretly being involved with a G-Unit affiliated Florida artist named Maserati Bud, and claimed he possessed ring camera footage as proof.
Make God popular, make God popular.
Tell her to be honest, he wrote, because I have the ring camera videos. That post detonated across every platform within minutes. But 50 wasn't finished there. He went further. On Instagram, he shared screenshots of alleged text messages between Claressa Shields and another man. Messages reportedly dated around Thanksgiving of the prior year, a period when she and Papoose were already together, though not yet publicly confirmed as a couple. The texts he circulated contained language suggesting intimacy, warmth, and familiarity that Shields insisted had no romantic context whatsoever. He followed that with an additional post showing a photo of Shields and Maserati Bud together, captioning it with mocking language suggesting Bud had been all over Claressa during the Christmas holiday, and concluding with a dig at Papoose's whereabouts while this allegedly occurred.
You never even smelt my cat, boy. I never even sneezed on this nigga, and he up here talking about some.
Think about the architecture of what 50 Cent built here. First, a trolling photo with an accusation buried in the caption. Second, alleged text screenshots linking Shields to another man. Third, holiday photos presented as circumstantial confirmation. Fourth, claims that contact between Shields and Bud was still happening in real time, layer by layer, each one designed to make the previous one look mild. Shields recognized immediately what was happening and named it plainly, a figure commanding nearly 39 million followers, was weaponizing that platform against her relationship and her carefully constructed public image. She did not characterize it as trolling. She characterized it as a deliberate, calculated attempt to destroy her credibility. 2 people received those posts. 2 people read those captions. And neither one of them chose silence. Claressa Shields moved first, and she moved like a champion who has spent her entire career deciding how to respond to adversity under pressure. She hit Instagram stories with a screenshot of an AI-generated legal response to the question of whether someone can be sued for falsely claiming another person slept with someone. The answer confirmed exactly what she needed. Her caption followed without hesitation. "You getting sued. You can't lie and put bodies on me."
Sued. You getting sued if you do it. I don't give a fuck. You getting sued, 40 Cent, with your goofy ass.
That wasn't emotion talking. That was strategy wearing the costume of anger. She then took to social media with a detailed breakdown of the entire situation's timeline. This started when disrespect was directed at me and Papoose unprovoked, which led to rap beef, and Papoose dissed him. Rather than responding through music like a true artist, he chose to make false claims, creating a narrative suggesting I had a sexual relationship with someone I have never been involved with in any capacity. No romantic contact, no sexual contact. Given his platform and influence with 38.9 million followers, legal action is now being pursued. Papoose brought entirely different energy, and it was equally devastating. He surfaced an old interview clip of 50 Cent responding to gay rumors and captioned it with precision. "I couldn't make this up if I wanted to. Lying on the next man's situation when you're a confessed booty bandit is crazy. I got him on desperate time now. All this because you like disrespecting black women and can't rap for real." He also dug up documentation, suggesting 50 Cent's last genuinely dominant chart moment came over 2 decades ago, positioning the entire attack on Claressa as the desperate maneuver of a man whose musical relevance had expired long before this beef began. 2 people, 2 completely different approaches. 1 unified front. Just when this seemed like a 2-sided conflict with clear territories, a 3rd voice entered, and his entrance changed everything. Maserati Bud, Florida artist, alleged G-Unit associate, man whose name had now been mentioned across millions of timelines, decided he was done staying on the sidelines. He surfaced on Instagram Live and confirmed a romantic involvement with Shields.
"Claressa, you will with me the long way. The only reason that you went old boy way is because of Polly."
Claiming she became emotionally upset after learning he had spent Christmas in the company of other women, a natural consequence, he said, of his openly polyamorous lifestyle. His account was specific and pointed. Shields had weighed her situation, concluded she preferred the exclusivity Papoose offered over Bud's multi-partner arrangement, and chosen accordingly. His framing? She made a decision between 2 men, and one of them didn't take that rejection quietly. He went further still, claiming he was physically present inside Claressa's home on Christmas night, while she was on a video call with Papoose from another room. He described the furniture.
"That's what, I'm finna release all this footage. Yeah, on Christmas, I was inside the crib. When you was on Facebook."
He described the layout. He referenced witnesses who allegedly saw Shields leave with him that same evening. "I got the video," he stated. "I was right there in the living room." He said he had initially tried to spare her the embarrassment, that none of this was ever supposed to become public. But once a recorded phone call surfaced, his patience evaporated. He posted holiday footage of the 2 together and made clear more was coming. Claressa Shields responded from Instagram Live with ice-cold composure. She denied any intimate history between them, 0 romantic contact, 0 sexual involvement, and offered her explanation for his behavior. She had rejected him, chosen Papoose, and his ego hadn't recovered. She called him a weirdo for allegedly recording their time together without her knowledge, and described his posts as the actions of a man humiliated by being turned down. When holiday footage emerged, showing them at the same gathering, her response was immediate. She commented that she had no idea why her friend had brought him to her home, framing his presence there as entirely incidental to her own choices. Here is where this saga grew its sharpest teeth. 50 Cent returned to Instagram and shared what he presented as text message screenshots linking Claressa Shields to another man around Thanksgiving, a period that predates the couple's public announcement but falls within their actual relationship. The messages circulated rapidly, fueling a debate about what they actually proved versus what they implied. Maserati Bud added his own layer of alleged documentation. He released text exchanges between himself and who he identified as Shields, dated months before this drama surfaced publicly, in which she reportedly confronted him about his time spent with other women. He presented those messages as proof of emotional investment. She presented the same messages as proof of nothing beyond ordinary friendship friction. The internet picked sides based entirely on prior loyalty. Observers noticed the contradiction immediately. If nothing meaningful ever existed between them, why did messages show frustration about his behavior with other women? Shields supporters argued the text showed boundary setting between acquaintances. Bud's supporters argued they showed a woman reacting like someone emotionally attached. Identical words. Completely opposite interpretations. Then Bud released something new, and it generated its own controversy. He posted iPhone call logs showing contact entries that he claimed were linked to Shields, including a FaceTime session from early March 2026 lasting nearly 5 minutes, along with additional calls and missed attempts across the same period. The contact in his phone was saved under a misspelled version of her name. The internet immediately clocked the inconsistencies. Multiple commenters pointed out that the call log showed he had initiated contact, not her. Others noted the name was spelled incorrectly. Some questioned whether the logs had been altered. The consensus among skeptics: this looked less like evidence and more like promotional theater for an upcoming music release he plugged at the end of the very same video. Whether those logs proved what Bud claimed they proved remained entirely a matter of interpretation, and Shields had not responded directly to that specific post at the time it circulated. While everyone else performed their outrage for the cameras, Papoose sat down for a formal interview, and what he said landed harder than any social media post from either side. He confirmed directly that Claressa had already told him about the Maserati Bud situation before any of it became public knowledge, meaning the viral allegations that shocked millions of followers introduced absolutely nothing new into his actual relationship. The internet received breaking news. He received old information his partner had already shared with him personally. That single statement restructured the entire narrative. He clarified he doesn't know Maserati Bud closely enough to speak on him with any authority, so he chose not to. He addressed the cheating narrative the way he'd addressed Agent Provocateur, as a deliberate distraction. A man who couldn't answer the music decided to attack the relationship instead. He acknowledged Claressa's legal pursuit without diving into specifics, and he and the interviewer shared an authentic laugh over the observation that Papoose might be uniquely motivated to stay loyal, because breaking up with a professional boxing world champion carries its own particular consequences. The humor was real. The steadiness was realer. This was not a man rattled by rumor. This was a man who had already processed the storm inside his own home, privately, honestly, with his partner, and walked into a public interview carrying none of the weight that the internet expected him to collapse under. Papoose's final word wasn't a rebuttal. It was a verdict. Quiet, measured, and impossible to misread. And then Claressa Shields said something that genuinely nobody predicted. She had already sent the cease and desist. She had already confirmed the defamation lawsuit was actively moving forward. Her attorneys were involved. The legal machinery was turning, and she offered to shut all of it down. Every filing, every attorney's hour, every court document, under one specific condition. She stated it plainly. I would drop it if he got in the ring with Pap. Then she removed every shred of ambiguity. Pap would whoop his ass, drop him. He'd beat the living daylights out of him. When pressed on whether Papoose genuinely had the physical ability to back that confidence up. Pap don't want to show y'all, but of around and find out. Pap can fight. Anybody from New York already knows that. Pap will whoop his ass, and he knows it too. She wasn't finished. She extended the challenge into a full hypothetical event. If a celebrity boxing card was being assembled, she wanted her own opponent brought along. She addressed the man who spread allegations about her relationship directly. If you've got a girl you want to bring for me, bring whoever you want. Call your celebrity friends. Call your rap girlfriend. Tell them to come fight me. A defamation lawsuit exchanged for boxing gloves and a referee. Legal documents traded for 5 rounds and a ring. Only Claressa Shields could restructure a courtroom conflict into a fight promotion and make it sound like the most reasonable offer in the room. She also addressed the broader question of why this relationship attracts so much unsolicited commentary. The relationship between me and Pap isn't big because Pap is Papoose. It's big because I am who I am too. Had I been just a little Instagram model nobody respected, it wouldn't be a big thing. He's with a champ. He's with a baller. That's the problem. Not arrogance, accuracy. There is a meaningful difference between those two things, and Claressa Shields has always known exactly which one she's speaking. Pull back from every individual moment. The face-swapped photos, the ring camera claims, the Thanksgiving texts, the call logs, the FaceTime receipts, the diss tracks, the Instagram lives, and look at what this whole chapter exposed about each person standing inside it. 50 Cent demonstrated his most consistent pattern. When music becomes the battlefield and the music isn't landing, pivot to the personal. He built a multi-platform assault against a woman's reputation using AI imagery, alleged screenshots, and a G-Unit affiliate's parallel narrative. He deployed nearly 39 million followers as a distribution network for allegations that Shields says were fabricated from foundation to ceiling. And the reach of that platform meant the damage spread faster than any denial could chase it. Maserati Bud entered the situation claiming he wanted to spare Claressa embarrassment and exited it, releasing late-night call logs with a misspelled contact name while simultaneously promoting his next musical project. Commenters noted the fundamental flaw in his evidence. The logs suggested he called her, not the reverse, a detail that undermined the narrative he was attempting to construct. Whether his version of events holds truth is something only those two individuals know, but the way he presented it did his credibility no favors. Papoose showed exactly who he is under pressure. A man secure enough in his relationship to confirm his partner had already informed him of everything, calm enough to sit in an interview chair and discuss it without performance, and sharp enough to identify the entire campaign as a panic response to a diss track that clearly found its mark. Claressa Shields showed the world something it already knew about her, but keeps forgetting. She does not absorb attacks quietly and absorb them with grace. She pointed out deliberately